To the Native American tribes and early white explorers who first encountered Yellowstone, the landscape was a bizarre and otherworldly place unlike anything they had ever seen. Imagine boiling mud pits, water shooting from the ground, steaming hot springs, and mineral-laden terraces. When John Coulter returned to St. Louis after exploring Yellowstone in the early 1800s, following his departure from the Lewis and Clark expedition, his descriptions of the area were met with disbelief. People mocked him, calling it Coulter's Hell. Today, Yellowstone's geological marvels, boasting over 10,000 thermal features, making up 3/4 of the world's total, are famous. Every year, millions of visitors come to witness the park's awe-inspiring wonders. But even now, there are still unexpected mysteries and unusual occurrences in the park. Here are a few of the most curious ones. Steamboat Geyser, unpredictable and unexplainable. Steamboat Geyser, the tallest active geyser in the world, is renowned for its highly unpredictable eruptions. The intervals between eruptions can range anywhere from just a few days to decades, with no clear pattern. Located in Norris Geyser Basin, Steamboat had relatively few eruptions in the 20th century. But since 2018, its activity has increased dramatically. From 2018 through September 2021, the geyser erupted 143 times, with record-breaking bursts in 2019 and 2020. Despite this increased frequency, there's still no clear explanation for the geyser's erratic behavior. A study published in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences in 2021 ruled out common causes such as earthquakes or snowmelt, but couldn't pinpoint why the geyser behaves the way it does. As study lead author Mara Reed noted, "We still can't explain simple things about how geysers work. There's still so much more to discover." The mysterious singing lake. Imagine a lake that sings. That's what many visitors to Yellowstone claim to hear at Yellowstone Lake. The phenomenon was first noted by F.H. Bradley in 1872 during the Hayden expedition, who described hearing a curious sound between a whistle and a hoarse whine. Over 150 years later, no one has been able to determine the source of this strange sound, which has been heard by many others since. Captain Hiram Chittenden, another early explorer, recorded similar observations, describing strange and indefinable overhead sounds. Toxic gases at Death Gulch and Wob Springs. In 1899, naturalist Ernest Thompson Seton wrote The Biography of a Grizzly, where he described the fictional death of a grizzly bear named Wob in Yellowstone's Death Gulch. While Seton's tale was fictional, it was based on real events. A decade earlier, in 1888, U.S. Geological Survey expedition member Walter H. Weed reported finding numerous dead animals in Death Gulch, including several bears, with no obvious signs of external injuries. Weed concluded that the animals had been asphyxiated by toxic gases released in the area. Later, in the early 1900s, a journalist investigating the same area observed the same phenomenon, noting several more dead bears and experiencing symptoms of a headache after spending time near the gulch. Today, while reports of animals dying from toxic gases are rare, the fumes around Death Gulch and nearby Wob Springs are still pungent and overwhelming. In 2008, historian Jeremy Johnston, retracing the route Seton's fictional bear took, noted that the smell in the area was so overpowering at times, it was hard to breathe. If you're hiking the Cache Creek Trail near Lamar Valley, you can still smell the noxious gases from Death Gulch across the river. Carnivorous plants, nature's silent predators. Yellowstone is home to over 1,300 species of plants, but two in particular stand out for their ability to hunt for food. Both bladderworts and sundews, which are found in the park, are carnivorous and trap and digest small prey. Bladderworts are especially fascinating, with traps that are considered some of the most sophisticated in the plant kingdom. These tiny plants can snap shut in just 1/100th of a second when an unsuspecting creature, such as a water flea or mosquito larvae, lands on them. Once trapped, the prey is dissolved by digestive enzymes, providing nourishment to the plant. Sundews, with their red sticky leaves, use mucilage to attract and ensnare insects. The leaves eventually curl inward to trap the prey, which is then digested by the plant. If you're lucky enough to spot a sundew in action, you can tell it's feeding by observing the way the tentacles curl. Bats of Yellowstone, nature's insect controllers. Yellowstone is home to 13 species of bats, each playing a crucial role in maintaining the park's ecological balance. These nocturnal creatures are the park's primary insectivores, consuming thousands of insects each night. Some species can eat as many as 7,000 insects in a single night, and a nursing bat can consume its own weight in insects every evening. The little brown bat, first identified in 1904 at Lake Yellowstone Hotel, is the most commonly seen species in the park. If you're visiting, keep an eye out for them at dusk or dawn, especially in areas abundant with insects. Isa Lake, the lake that drains to two oceans. Located between West Thumb and Old Faithful at 8,262 feet in elevation, is one of only a few lakes in the world that drains into two different oceans. What's even more remarkable is that it drains backwards. During the spring, when the lake is swollen with snowmelt, the eastern end drains into Shoshone Lake, eventually feeding into the Pacific Ocean via the Snake and Columbia rivers. The western end of the lake, however, drains into the Firehole River, which eventually leads to the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean. Isa Lake was discovered in 1891 by Hiram Chittenden, who named it after Miss Isabel Jelka, a Cincinnati socialite. The exact nature of their relationship remains a mystery, but Chittenden's discovery of the lake's unique hydrology is one of Yellowstone's most fascinating features. Yellowstone National Park is a place of endless wonder, where nature constantly surprises and mystifies visitors with its peculiarities. From the unpredictable eruptions of Steamboat Geyser to the eerie sounds of Yellowstone Lake, the park is teeming with oddities that defy easy explanation. The toxic gases of Death Gulch, the silent predation of carnivorous plants, and the insect-controlling bats all add layers of intrigue to the park's diverse ecosystem. Meanwhile, Isa Lake's unique drainage pattern, feeding into two different oceans, serves as a stunning reminder of Yellowstone's geological and hydrological complexity. These phenomena reflect just how much remains unknown about Yellowstone, despite the centuries of exploration and study. It's a place where the natural world continues to surprise us, offering mysteries yet to be unraveled and wonders still waiting to be discovered. Whether you're drawn to its otherworldly landscapes, its bizarre biological inhabitants, or the strange forces at play beneath the surface, Yellowstone's mysteries promise that there will always be something new to explore and marvel at. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. This has been National Park Mysteries.